Trump wants to force federal bureaus not to do something. Yeah, he wants to force federal bureaus to respect the Constitution would be the proper way to put it, but they
Oh man, I haven't made a video about this confidence man right here in quite a while. But don't worry, this video actually is not going to be about Styx Hexenhammer. I just happened to tune into this video of his the other night. Actually, I think this was just last night. And I caught this clip and I was just like, wow, of course, yes, promoting Trump. I can't believe people are still doing this grift. And it's interesting. I'm actually going to be covering this grift while I'm covering another set of shills in this video. But I don't want to just make this video about shills, so let me cover some of the news. So, Trump came out the other day, and he's all like, yeah, I'm going to take a vow to fight for free speech reform, of government and of universities and media and tech. Of course, it's like, why didn't you do this while you were president? Why do you have to now do this in your second term in office? Clearly it would have benefited you to advocate or fight for free speech when you were president the first time around, instead of filling the swamp and actually going against free speech. So I just want to remind people of a little history. So the Trump administration bans criticism of Israel on college campuses. And of course, he painted it as anti-Semitism. So in December of 2019, President Trump signed an executive order. Actually, you know what? Let's just look at the actual news article. Now, this is NPR. Now, of course, I'm no fan of NPR. There you have the liberal mind virus, no different than the conservative mind virus. There's really no difference between people on the two sides of that aisle. So anyway, let's look at this article. And now, so President Trump signed an executive order on Wednesday that will make Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act apply to anti-Semitic acts. The order is generating concern that it will stifle free speech by those who oppose Israel's policy towards the Palestinians. And this is exactly why this was done. Okay, so the executive order takes indirect aim at the boycott, divest, and sanction movement. Actually, that's a sanctions movement that has generated intense controversy on college campuses. So for those of you who don't know, there's this kind of protesting Israel movement known as the BDS movement, the boycott, divest, and sanction movement. And it essentially, its purpose was to take aim or to try to influence Israel's policy through their economy by putting stress on their economy so that they would lay off the Palestinians. Now, there's something really interesting about this. So now, according to this article, Title VI bans discrimination based on race, color, or national origin in programs and activities such as colleges and universities that receive federal funding. Now, what's really interesting about this is that I thought that this also applied to religion, but it turns out it doesn't. If you look up Title VI, it says that they can't discriminate against race, color, or national origin, but it doesn't say anything about religion. So technically, they would be able to discriminate based off of religious purposes. But the thing that I wanted to say here is okay, well, why make this, about anti-Semitism? Why not just say, they can't discriminate against people's religion? Anyway, it's weird because these policies aren't anti-Semitic. All of these BDS policies, they have nothing to do with the race that is occupying Israel. It has everything to do with the policies of the Israeli government towards the Palestinian people. So it's weird how they kind of, mix this up, and it's yeah, this is anti-Semitism. It's no, it's not anti-Semitism. It's anti-Israeli tyrannical government. Now, if people don't think that, these things are happening, because a lot of people, they don't realize what's actually happening around the world. So let me show you guys a video. Now, I know some Palestinians firsthand, so I've actually been able to talk to them and understand what them and their families experience over there. But check this out, okay? Check this out. This is a real video, by the way. You can look this up. I know it's Al Jazeera, so I know people are like, oh, well, that's not credible, because there's a bias. Al Jazeera, of course, they're going to try to paint a Jewish person or an Israeli person as a land thief, and that's really what this is. This is not a Jewish person. This is an Israeli person. That's how they perceive it. So let's check out this video.
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
It's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
you are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, يا عمي.
Okay, I don't know what they're saying in Arabic, but you get the idea. Like, this guy is like, this Israeli guy is just like, yeah, you know, if I don't steal it, somebody else is gonna steal it. And that really is the mentality, I guess, for some of them down there, where it's like, hey, you know what? Somebody's gonna come here and steal this land, so I might as well have dibs on it. Now, actually, you know what? Let me show one more video before I go into the BDS thing. Here's another video that actually just recently came out. It was like it was circulating around in late November. So check this out. It says this is World Star, and it's titled, but this is also on Facebook, and of course, you know, news agencies aren't really going to be covering this because it's like, you know, doesn't look too good. So it says cold while a Palestinian wow, this is incorrect. Whatever, it's World Star. So cold while Palestinian families were attending a funeral, group of Israelis straight up jacks their houses. And then you have this video. So just bus full of you know, occupiers at this point. You know, I mean, it's funny because the bus full of occupiers here, it reminds me of the bus full of migrants that are being you know, distributed all throughout the country. But here's a little bit of detail here. Here's some information, I guess, if you guys want to look into this. So Israeli settlers are rushing to take over a Palestinian building in occupied Hebron as Palestinians are busy collectively mourning slain journalist this person. So I guess that will give you some more information to look into. So now the next thing that I want to look into, it's actually not the next thing, but it's to pick up on this. So not only did Trump make it illegal to criticize Israel on college campuses, you know, violating free speech on college campuses, he also went after private businesses that had some government contracts. So, you know, there are private businesses that have contracts with the government, or like, you know, the government supports them in various ways. And I'll be talking about what Texas did to, I believe, Ben & Jerry's. So anyway, so this is from Human Rights Watch. States use anti-boycott laws to punish responsible businesses. Laws penalize companies that cut ties with Israeli settlements. And then it pretty much gives all the details for that, okay? But a good example of this is Ben & Jerry's. Now, Ben & Jerry's, they wanted to pull their ice cream, or they didn't want to sell their ice cream in certain occupied areas. Actually, I think it was in Jerusalem, like you know, since Trump moved the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem, this sort of emboldened and sort of increased the amount of illegal Israeli settlers on Palestinian lands. So Ben & Jerry's was like, hey, look, well, we don't want to sell our ice cream there anymore. So Texas, they were like, all right, if you don't want to sell your ice cream there anymore, then we're going to destroy you financially, and we're going to like basically I think it's like people's retirement accounts had like Ben & Jerry's stocks. There was some connection there, like the Texas government had some leverage on them, and they basically used that leverage, that economic leverage, and they were like, you think that you're going to use your economic leverage on Israel? No, we're going to use our economic leverage on you for daring to try to protest, for daring to use your First Amendment rights. So you know, that's just a perfect example of Trump being a total shill. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He doesn't care about people's rights. I mean, not that the Constitution really does anything. The Constitution, as I've stated in previous videos, is an absolutely terrible thing, and most people don't understand it. But I'm just kind of speaking in like layman terms. So, you know, when Styx says this nonsense,
Trump wants to force federal bureaus not to do something. Yeah, he wants to force federal bureaus to respect the Constitution would be the proper way to put it, but...
You know, when Styx says that, he's just a confidence man. You know, he's just saying this confidently because he's capable of doing that. That's, you know, one of the skills of these talking heads is being able to lie with the same confidence that a person has when they're telling the truth. And this convinces a person that, hey, this person must be telling me the truth because they're not giving any signs or they're not giving any tells that my subconscious can pick up on and say, hey, this person is a fucking liar. So, you know, they're good at that. Now, speaking of shills, I want to talk about Bitchute, because that's really what I noticed Bitchute really is. I'll be getting to the owner of Bitchute. So Bitchute, very, very interesting platform. Now, to kind of show the state that this platform is in, I'm going to be looking at these guys, WakingtheFuture. Where are they? Right here, WakingtheFuture. Okay, now I'm sure people know I had some discussions with these guys. Well, those discussions have been cut off, and I'll be explaining what happened in this video. Now, I have to let everybody know, actually, you know what, before I even go into the emails that I have exchanged with these people, let me give you a perfect example of the fact that these people are shills. Okay, so, and not just shills, but shills that Bitchute seems to be promoting. And Bitchute promotes a lot of shills, and I'm going to be getting into that right now. So, these people, let's look at some of their videos, right? WakingtheFuture. Their videos average between 5 and 10,000 views. Actually, their views are a little bit down. They must have decreased the amount of bots that are viewing their videos because they realized that people were catching on to this. So their videos used to get about 10,000 per view, 16,000 per view here. They have a video that has, this is over 1 million views, 1,191,863 views. And you see, it has pretty much the exact same engagement, 39 likes, 7 dislikes. Of course, I disliked it, and I'll be showing you why. They have the exact same amount of engagement, or at least close to the exact same amount of engagement, as a video with 8,000 views. Whoa, hold the presses there. I screw up there. This is a post-recording edit. I say this video has 8,000 views, when it clearly has 87,000 views. However, that doesn't mean that I'm wrong. So let's look at the engagement here. The video that has 87,000 views, 30 likes, 5 dislikes. Let's compare that to a video of theirs that has 5,000 views, 31 likes, 2 dislikes. So although I screw up here with the number, it's not 8,000, it's 87,000. The point that I was trying to make is still true. So you see, the engagement is almost always the same, whether it's 1 million views, or whether it's 87,000 views, or whether it's 5,000 views. Now let's compare that to the Salty Cracker channel. This video of his has 11,000 views, and you can see way more engagement. You can see the comment section here filled with comments, and these comments, they don't seem like bots. Of course, they have some bots in here pushing the typical Bitchute nonsense, but lots and lots and lots of comments, lots of engagement. You look at these guys, their channel here, let's look at their comments. And that's it. And of course, all bots, except for this guy. This guy here is actually the person discussing that they're talking to in this video. But all bots. I mean, all bots, they all say the same thing. They're all, if you comment something critical on the video, they're all going to downvote your comment. Now check this out. Just listen to the nonsense that this guy says. This is an idea of the type of crap that they push. Check this out.
They did come a long time ago. Yes, I do believe that they have to do with the pyramids. There's no other way.
I'm sorry, let me give some context. In this scene, they're talking about aliens here, okay? So he's like, oh yeah, they did come a long time ago. They had to build the pyramids. There's no other way. He says there's no other way the pyramids could be built. So let me just, I'm going to play this, okay?
The aliens, yes, they did come a long time ago. Yes, I do believe that they have to do with the pyramids. There's no other way. As rudimentary we were at that time, that we were able to pull it off without any help. they're coming, but they're coming a different way. But they're coming through love, through energy.
Okay, so this is the rhetoric that they have going on over there. So he's all like, oh yeah, the aliens came in the past, and they helped people build the pyramids, so they had to have come in physical form, right? And then he's all like, oh, and they're going to come again, but they're going to come through love and energy. And now this is the con that they have going on over this total deception of, oh, it's all about love and energy, and oh, it's all about your mind space. Don't worry about the world going on around you. And now if you look these guys up, let me they have this other clown that comes on their show named Tony, Waking the Future. And he has this video, it's like, I think it's called it's like the white pill perspective. Here it goes, right here. And of course, this is 178,000 views, right? And Tony, he also has 247,000 views. But you click on it, same amount of engagement. Very low engagement. You see 14 dislikes. And there's 14 dislikes on this video because nobody likes this clown Tony. Well, actually not nobody, but some of the real people that come to this channel can see through this clown Tony. So his white pill perspective is basically like the red pill perspective. I'm sure people are familiar with the red pill perspective, but it's like a person who took the red pill and then decided to take the blue pill and go back to sleep. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm aware of all that stuff out there, but none of that matters, and we shouldn't try to concern ourselves with it. We should just be concerned with our own energy and our own headspace. And pretty much all of the rhetoric that comes out of this channel is designed to get people to drop out of the system. Like, these guys are anarchists, and you know, their whole philosophy is to get people to drop out of the system, not fight back, or not fight back in any sort of logical way. Actually, they don't say a person should fight back at all. They're just like, yeah, you should go into the woods and be a hippie, and that's going to solve everything. And every single one of their guests that comes on says some total deceptive nonsense. They had a guest come on, one of their last guests. This guy came on, and he told people that lead paint is a good thing. I'm not even joking. He was all like, oh yeah, the government knew that these cell phone towers were going to come out, so they cracked down on lead paint so that people can't use the lead paint to protect themselves. Then this idiot, Pat, he's all like, oh yeah, the lead is locked into the paint, so there should be nothing wrong with it, showing that he knows nothing about lead paint and how it breaks down and turned into lead dust. So he's a complete clown, and they're literally on here encouraging people to use lead paint, and neither of these guys, neither of these clowns, either Pat or fucking Joel, neither of them push back against any of the rhetoric, any of the deception. Nothing but deception coming out of these guys, right? Literally every single last one of them seems to be part of the counterintelligence operation. So anyway, let me go back to an email that I sent these guys way back in August. This was right before our first discussion. So before I sent them an email, before I got on their show, I was like really active in their comment section. I was calling them out. I was calling out Joel and showing how much of a projecting egomaniac he is. Like, he claims that I think that I'm smarter than everybody, but really it's his own projection. Because I prove that I'm smarter than him, he has to come out with this angle like that I'm trying to be smarter than everybody. And it's like, no, dude, I'm just smarter than you. And the fact that that offends you and that you have to point it out as if it's a bad thing just shows more about you than it does about me. But anyway, so what I did is I emailed them. I'm like, you know, since I'd be wasting as much time responding to your comments as I would probably be wasting on your show, I figured I'd reach out, book a spot for next Saturday, August 27th, whatever, you know. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm going to send you guys a list of things to discuss. And I was like, you know, the first thing I'd like to discuss is flat Earth. And then I'm like, you know, the reason why I want to discuss this with you guys is because you guys have promoted flat Earth, right? And then I pretty much, I send them all of this information, which actually we can see an itemized list of it. All these videos that fully debunk and disprove flat Earth. And it's funny because after I sent them this, they sort of stopped talking about flat Earth. But at the end of this video, at the end of this email, I say the following. I'm like, if you care about the truth, you point things out. Sure, you can have an anarchist on, but don't just sit there like a mindless talking head like so many other mindless talking heads do. And of course, I'm talking about like Coast to Coast AM, who they have people come on and they talk about all kinds of ridiculous shit, and they don't have any pushback. They're just like, yeah, come on and say your nonsense and entertain our audience, you know? And then I'm like, of course, in a very polite way, which you guys seem to be good at doing, you know, being polite. Or don't. I'm like, but if you aren't going to stand up for the truth or do the research necessary to learn the truth, do the truth community a favor and put a little disclaimer that lets your audience know that you care more about feeding into their already established beliefs, and by there I mean the audience's already established beliefs, than you do care about truths that might offend them and cause them to leave. You know, or tell them you're too lazy to do the research to figure out what's really going on. And, you know, that's really what it is like, you know, these guys actually aren't doing any real research. I mean, I'm sure that they're being given a script. Like, there was a person who did a video on TikTok the other month. Maybe I'll get it and put it in here. And they were talking about how they were offered to do, like, an anti-Trump video. And, like, you know, the person's like, you know, what this person was telling them that they're going to pay him to say wasn't even true. So he's like, you know, when the person sent him this email that was basically saying, oh, you know, we'll give you money to say these talking points, he questioned them on one of the talking points. He's like, do you have proof for that talking point? And it's like, of course they didn't. So I suspect that that's what happens, is that these people get given talking points, general talking points, things to say, hot button topics, and then as long as they just kind of float around those things, they get paid. And I'm pretty confident, I can't be for sure, but that's probably what they're doing. And if they're not doing that, then the other thing that they're doing is they're using the love and now Christian grift. Like this guy, Pat, where are you at? This guy, Pat, I did a religious exemption discussion with him because I have a religious exemption template, and I did a discussion with him, and he was like, oh yeah, I was raised Catholic in a Catholic household, but like, you know, I'm not really like religious. You know, he admits to not being religious, but now, since he's pushing this this grift, he's trying to build his audience so that he can get donations and stuff. Let me see. I think it was this video that he says it in. Let's see. I'm pretty confident that I time-stamped it. What if? Is it here? Oh, yeah. 4236. Okay, check this out. Let's go to 4236.
All right.
4236.
No, I'm not into.
No, you know, and that's the thing, you know. So like for me, right? Christ and God, you know, one. That's what helps to guide me. That is.
Yeah, Christ and God. That's what helps guide him now. So that's what he's doing. That's what they're doing over here. They have this love, community, friendship grift going on over there, because it brings an audience together. It gets, you know, people to follow you. You know, you don't shake anything up. And, you know, the larger your audience is, the more likely it is that somebody will buy your shitty products or give you a donation. And, you know, these guys, they have like a t-shirt store and they try to sell products. And actually what's funny is that one of their guests, this other clown, this guy right here, he buys their shit. So they always have him on the show, and they let him, you know, read his script. He reads directly from a freaking script, this guy. Like, he comes on, and he's like, oh, yeah, I put this thing together. It's fucking total schizophrenic disinformation nonsense. Anyway, let's return back to this email, right? So I sent them that email. Now, this was their response, right? Good morning. Thank you for sending the email to us. We can accommodate you on the 27th. And then as for the discussion debate, we have no interest in flat Earth, as it will bring nothing to the table for anyone. As for the other topics, they should make for a good discussion, right? So I'm like, wait a second, haven't you guys promoted flat Earth before? And then they're like, mentioned, yes, covered, no. It's like, wait a second, you guys don't cover anything, all right? You guys don't cover anything because you guys don't talk about anything into detail. You know, you guys just dance around a topic. These guys have promoted flat Earth, though. So now that goes from being promoted, which is my question, like, yeah, we mentioned it. No, you guys fucking promoted it, right? So I'm like, okay, then I will briefly mention it as one of the deceptions floating around the truth community. Because at this point, before I had talked to them at all, before I had any videos with them, August 20th of 2022, I wanted to expose the deception that was on their show. I wanted to come on their show and call them out for what they were doing. So I'm like, look, you know, flat Earth is a deception. And I'm like, in this video, Joel says, I understand that the biggest evil out there that we face is deception. And it is. One of the biggest evil that we face is deception. So one question that I will be asking you guys is, why don't you address the deception that is propagated in the truth community? And, not only address the deception that's being propagated in the truth community, they voluntarily platform it on their show. That's my email back to them, right? Perfectly reasonable. And of course I say this, and this brings me to my main point, which is that your show is called Waking the Future, but it doesn't do much to actually wake people up. If anything, your show is turning people away from waking up and telling them that there's nothing they can do but maybe try their hardest to avoid the system, what Pat referred to as a personal anarchy. I'm like, maybe you should rename it to Avoiding the Future or Disempowering the Future. Maybe you don't realize it, but you are in fact making things harder for those who are really trying to wake people up and empower them. Okay, this is my original email to them, right? This is their response. Look, you have an open invitation to come on our show Saturday the 27th at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, at which time we will have a mature discussion or we won't. It's that simple. And it's like, wow, that's a real mature response. So I'm trying to be as transparent about the questions I will be asking you or the things that we'll be discussing and why I will be asking them / discussing them. So I'm trying to be really transparent with these guys and make sure that our conversation, that our discussion doesn't go off the rails. Okay, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make sure that we can have a real discussion about what they're doing without it going off the rails, by letting them know ahead of time, hey, this is the discussion I want to have, these are the things that I want to talk about, and this is how I want to expose you, okay? But I know what would have happened. I would have come on. If I did that, they would have basically just cut me off. So what I did is, I decided to totally change up what I was going to talk about. And this was basically a 007 style for me. I was actually supposed to come on and talk about, my own life, right? But then we decided to talk about one of these things that I put on the list here, right? So I ended up coming on their show, and I ended up, trying to get a little close to them so I can learn a little bit about them. And, sort of win their trust over, because I knew at this point that they were shills. But I'm like, you know what, I have to try to get my foot in that door so I can really be certain of it. Now, what's interesting is that when the camera isn't recording, before they have a recording with somebody, the person will meet up with them, they'll have a little pre-recording discussion, and then normally they'll talk about something afterwards. Now, what's interesting is that after one of the shows, Pat here, he of course told me that one of the reasons that they created the show, they did want to make money off of this show. Now, right there, okay, well, then you're an idiot. You don't really care about the truth. If you're doing this to make money, if one of your intentions was to make money, then you're a scumbag. Now, I have a donation in my video. My videos, I have a link to a PayPal thing, and I cut off that link because I realized that link, you could get my identity through that link. And I realized that while exposing these guys, because I've continued to expose them in the comment section, they've said certain things in the comment section that tells me that they'll try to dox me and ruin my life for exposing their lies. Okay, because they've said things because of certain comments that I've said to these shills, because they're shills. They don't deserve my respect, so I talk to them in a sort of disrespectful way. So they'll say things like, oh, and you want to be a teacher? That's how you're going to talk to students? It's like, no, that's not how I would talk to students and kids. That's how I'm talking to you as a grown man. As a grown man who I'm engaged with in a personal or in a private matter, not in a business matter that has to do with my fucking career, But they try to make this connection because if they had my identity, they would try to contact my employers or those who will be employing me and try to make it as if I'm this terrible, horrible person, when in fact it's actually these guys who are the fucking scumbags, who are really terrible, horrible people. And this is, part of, their own deception. This is what they do. They try to have this nice guy persona, even though they're fucking spreading lies and deceptions that ruin people's lives. They don't even, I'm sure that they do realize this, but people really do have their lives ruined by this sort of counterintelligence nonsense. But they act like they're the good guys, and that's all part of the game. That's all part of their character. Okay, that's all part of their con that they're doing with their confidence. So I'm the bad guy. They're the good guy, even though they're spreading total misinformation. I actually almost forgot to mention why I brought up my PayPal. So yes, I had a PayPal link in my description, and that's so that if people want to give me donations, they can. But that was not the purpose of my channel. I did not create this channel and start making videos so that I can make money. Okay, that's just something that, hey, you know what? If you want to throw me $1, $2, $5, if you want to help buy me more time to make videos, then you can do that. But I make videos anyway. And guess how many donations I've gotten in like the 5 years that I've been making videos. I've gotten 1 donation. And you know what? I repaid that donation back manyfold because I actually provided that person with content that they can use in the real world. Now, I want to finish off by talking about Bitchute. Now I want to redirect this to Bitchute claiming that they had their bank account targeted, right? So Bitchute, it's interesting. Bitchute used to always have like a little donation thing up here, and like it'd be like 100% donation reached or 100% of our goal reached, right? So they reached 100% of their goal, and it's interesting the time that they reached 100% of that goal, and the people that they were pushing at that time. And then after they reached 100% of that goal, of course, they ended up needing more money again, because they can't get their shit together. They're not making enough money on advertisements and off of the CIA counterintelligence operatives that they clearly support, maintain, and push. And I also want to say one other thing before I even continue with this email. I just remembered it right now. That normally, WakingtheFuture, their bot numbers are enough to get them on the trending list. So to get on the trending list, you usually need about like 5,000 to 10,000 will guarantee you on the trending list, okay? So that's usually what their bot numbers meet, and that's why I think that Bitchute is in bed with them. And Bitchute is in bed with all of these clowns up here that they push. This guy, Jim Crenshaw, where is he? This guy, total fucking clown. And of course, you go to any of these clowns, well, except for from WakingtheFuture, but you go to these clowns thing, comments disabled. Of course, comments disabled. Not surprising. But anyway, so this clown over here, the owner of Bitchute, he's all like, oh yeah, the banks closed our account down and they stole our money, right? So what's interesting, though, is that if you go to this page and you look at the people who they acknowledge that gave them a shout-out, look at this. Max Egan, the Crow House. This guy's, I'm pretty confident he pushes flat earth nonsense. He does a number of other nonsensical shill videos, all part of the counterintelligence. This guy, Max Egan, he pushes basically all of the typical counterintelligence that you find on Bitchute. Same with this guy. I mean, Dan Dick's press for truth. He's not pressing for truth. He's pressing for money in his pockets. And, he does cover some degree of truth, but he's obviously a gatekeeper. He's obviously keeping people from reaching deeper levels of the truth. He clearly will not cover certain truths. Okay, same thing with Styx, and this is why I wanted to start this video off with Styx here, because, of course, this guy gives a shout-out to Styx, and he's like, a huge thanks to Styx for making a video. He's absolutely right that more people need to call this out, or it will happen again and again, and each time the bar is moved further towards totalitarianism. Now, actually, I should have read Max Egan's also. This is what he says about Max. Today, Max Egan, a veteran of alternative media and a friend of mine, gave us a shout-out. Okay, this guy, Max Egan, yeah, he's a veteran of alternative media. Sorry, there, my recording timed out. But yeah, of course this guy, Max Egan, is a veteran of fucking alternative media, because since Bitchute came out, and since alternative media platforms came out, they've been fucking pushing this guy. This guy, Max Egan, let me show you guys. He's the Crow House. So let me just look up Crow House on Bitchute, okay? The Crow House. Okay, the Crow House. This guy, he pushes so much counterintelligence, it's ridiculous. Now, of course, he does try to maintain his facade. He maintains his con, covering some stuff, like he'll cover some of the protests and stuff, and he'll make it seem like he's really against the system and he's really for the little guy, but he pushes total counterintelligence stuff. He was actually on Waking the Future, actually. If you type in Waking the Future with spaces, I believe you get the Crow House. Yep, Max Egan on Waking the Future. Top result. I'm surprised it's down to 33,000 views. I could have sworn that this was higher. It doesn't really matter, though. But yeah, he was on Waking the Future. You know, all of these guys, they're all connected.
All right, here we go.
Look at these clowns.
Waking the Future. I am Pat.
Good evening, guys. I am Joel. Thank you for tuning into Waking the Future's daily second episode. Today is Tuesday.
Oh, wow, this is their second episode. Wow, they seem so awkward here. It's so funny. I guess this is like one of their really early shows. So check this out. I didn't even know this about these Shills. So that's how connected these guys are. That one of their early episodes, one of their first fucking episodes, February 17th, 2021, one of their early... Actually, I don't think it's one of their first episodes, but it's seen, as he says, it's the second episode of their daily show. So early on, they're able to get a discussion with a veteran of alternative media and a friend of Bitchute, a personal friend of the owner of Bitchute.
February 16th.
Incredible.
See, we're all in for a treat tonight as we welcome Max Egan from the Crow House. You can, if you don't know who Max is, you can find Max over at thecrowhouse.com. He also has a channel on Bitchute.
Wow, Joel is obviously reading from a script here. This is hilarious. Well, let's watch more of this.
LBRY. I'm not sure, Max, if Max is on any other ones, but he'll let you know. And yeah, Max, just give a quick introduction.
And now he's back looking at the camera. Do you see the change of light here? So he's clearly reading a script here, you know, to introduce Max.
Max is on.
And of course, I mean, I have to say a couple things about Joel here. Okay, this guy, he was in jail. Okay, he admits that he was in prison. His teeth look like he probably did meth or something at one point or another in his life. Maybe he didn't do meth. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't fucking take very good care of his teeth. But he claims that for a part-time gig, he helps like drug addicts. You know, he participates at like a food pantry or some fucking outreach program. Now, the funniest thing that I have to say about these guys, the very last thing that I'm going to finish this video off with, is why they stopped having a discussion with me. Okay, so we were supposed to have a discussion about the COVID vaccines. We were supposed to have a discussion about them, and that's because these guys, they say a lot of things that just, like, aren't true. Like, they sort of downplay that whole thing that's going on. And it's really weird how they do this, like the rhetoric that they have with that. So I wanted to come on their show and basically present facts and be like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Now, what ended up happening is the week before our show was supposed to happen, they had all of these shills come on their show, and Pat here had his brother come on and push cryptos. Let me go back to Waking the Future. Check this out. So he had his brother come on and push cryptos. Where's that episode? Here it goes, right here. He has his brother come on and push fucking cryptos, right? So I call his brother out. I call him out for the deception. And everything I say is factual. And surprisingly, people didn't all, like, thumbs down my comment. So I'm like, this clown better not be trying to push the Bitcoin Ponzi scheme. It isn't decentralized, it's not currency, it's not limited to a certain number, and it most definitely will not grant you financial freedom, right? I say this, and then I have discussions with you. There's 26 replies here, and I prove that this guy's just fucking lying throughout the video. Okay, I replied to myself throughout the video, jotting down all of the things that he says is not true, and then, you know, quoting him. You know, they can't pull the plug on it, but they can, you know, and he even admits to that later on in the video. So what ends up happening is, after I call out Pat's brother for fucking being a deceptive little shill who's lying to people about Bitcoin, and it's funny, this is right after this guy, Sam Fried. His name is Sam Fried, okay? It's not Sam Fried. I don't know why everyone's calling it Sam Fried. It's Fried, all right? So this is right after Sam Fried and the FTX thing blew up. He has this guy on here, and look at this, 18,000 views. Look at the engagement, right? And the comments, I'm probably like the top commenter here, okay? So total fucking confidence, man. Right after this, they're like, they email me, and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to talk with you. Or no, they're like, we're going to put our discussions on hold until you respect our audience, right? That's what they said. Let me see. Waking the Future, that's fine. All right. So they're like, harmful. After scrolling through our comment section, we will be putting off future episodes, or I'm sorry, we will be putting future episodes with you on hold. Your lack of respect for Pat, myself, and our guest, and our community is nothing short of toxic. And it's like, I hope this issue can be resolved as you bring a lot to the table. But at the moment, the negative outweigh the positive. It's like, wait a second, how can this be resolved? You know, if you want to resolve it, you would have came to me, instead of saying, hey, we're going to put these discussions on hold, you would have came to me and said, hey, can we talk about your comments? You know, it could have been that simple, but they didn't. They immediately jumped to banning and then assuming, oh yeah, look, we banned you. Now you're going to be respectful to us, right? Hell no, you guys are shills, man. So yeah, I'm like, that's fine. You guys are, you know, I'd rather not cast my pearls before you fake swine. And I gave them, you know, the basically kick rocks guys. So what's interesting, though, is that the entire time that we talked, they knew the way that I commented to people in their comment section. Actually, before our first episode, I embarrassed Joel. And I was like, you know, because Joel tried engaging me in the comment section in like a debate. And like I basically, you know, I showed how he's just wrong. It's like, bro, not only are you wrong, but what you're saying is you're clearly projecting, okay? You're clearly projecting. You clearly have an insecure and fragile ego that can't accept the fact that I know more than you. When that is made obvious that I know more than you, you try to call me like a know-it-all. It's like, you know, that's not an argument. That's just like an ad hominem attack. It's not even an ad hominem attack. It's just like a childish attempt, a juvenile attempt to insult somebody. So anyway, this is you know, full proof that these guys, total shills. You know, they cut our discussion probably because, one, Pat didn't like that I called out his brother. And his brother was probably like, oh no, you can't platform this guy, and he probably had to do it for his family. Or it could have been because of this discussion that we were supposed to have, okay? We were supposed to have a discussion about this, and I know they didn't want to have a discussion about this because of all their other shills, all of these other people that they promote on their show don't agree with me on this topic, and they all push this counterintelligence nonsense. So I knew they couldn't have a discussion with me that basically disproved a lot of the stuff that their shills promote. You know, they had to find, you know, a reason, and they found a reason. That's fine. I didn't really actually want to continue to cast my pearls before these swine. As I said, the entire purpose for me interacting with them was to expose them. And, you know, I think I did a pretty good job at that. So anyway, I'm going to finish the video here. I just want to let everybody know I destroyed this semester. I kicked super ass this semester that I actually finished everything a couple of days beforehand. So I'll be back to making videos. Oh, actually, shit, there's one other thing that I wanted to say, and that is that I did learn one thing from Waking the Future. And that is, I did learn that this discussion style platform or opening yourself up to these discussions is actually a pretty cool idea. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start having my contact email at the top of the details. So if anybody wants to come on my show, have discussions with me, be part of the harmful content, you're more than welcome to. What I'll do is you'll email me, we'll have kind of like a Zoom discussion like these guys do. I'll record the Zoom discussion, and then I'll upload it afterwards. And you know, this I feel like it's a really good way to build community and to get other ideas out there. Or if not to get other ideas out there, but also to challenge my current ideas and to challenge other people's ideas. So that is something I did learn from these clowns. But they are in fact clowns. So be very, very careful of people like them. All of these confidence men, all of these bots on fucking Bitchute, all of these people, these Joe Rogan wannabes. It's like, you know, they see Joe Rogan making big bucks lying to people and platforming deception and counterintelligence, so now they want to make big bucks platforming counterintelligence. They're like, oh yeah, this is really easy. Look at what Joe Rogan does. Joe Rogan just has people come on, you know, platforms the counterintelligence and gets paid for it. So that's essentially what it seems like they're doing. And I want to just comment, the Freemasonry symbolism is all over the place. So they have the, you know, the light, the, you know, Lucifer, the morning star in their photo. And this guy, Alex, the clown who was pushing the aliens nonsense, this is his logo for his thing. So you see, you know, the morning star. It's all Freemasonry, Luciferian nonsense as well. I'm sure that they're tied into that whole thing. But, yeah, whatever. I'm going to end the video here. I shall see you all in the next video. Hopefully I get emails. You know, I don't care if they're fucking good or bad. They're going to entertain me. I am off from classes until January 29th, I believe. And I would really like to get a lot of videos done from now until then. So, you know, please feel free to reach out to me, email me, reach out to me. Let's make some videos together. Let's make some content together. And, you know, let's get some shit done. Until then, I'll see you all in the comment section, hopefully my email, and if not, I'll see you all in the next video. You all take care of yourselves.
So this whole time you guys have been working together?
She just do that to get that redneck money. Let me tell you something about that. When a nigga need a nemesis, she helps me out, and I help her back.